Welcome back to the YouTube channel for the New England Player. I am your host and founder, Matthew Andrews. It is June 22nd, 2026. So in this video, we're going to take you through a closer look at the 2026 Northeast Amateur Invitational Tournament, which is set to take place once again this year at the incredible layout at the Wannamoisett Country Club in Rhode Island. Now, if you're not familiar with the Northeast Amateur Invitational Tournament, this is truly one of the most special amateur competitions that is staged every year here in the United States, and is certainly one of the most substantial golfing events, whether that's amateur or professional, that takes place every year here in the New England region. A little bit about the history of the Northeast Amateur Invitational. The first staging of the event was held in the year 1962, and it has been played at the Wannamoisett Country Club really from the beginning and continues to be played there as well, even into this year. And over the course of the tournament's history, it truly has had some remarkable winners that have gone on to have incredible professional careers, win multiple major titles, and go on to the World Golf Hall of Fame. Some of the examples of the past winners include the likes of Colin Morikawa, Dustin Johnson, Anthony Kim. Luke Donald actually won this tournament in back-to-back years in the early 2000s. And then if you go back even further, you have golfers like David Duval and Ben Crenshaw winning this tournament. So again, you can see the level of player that it tends to attract. And some of these winners, again, have already gone on to have such incredible careers, and several have already also made it to the Hall of Fame. So you can, again, just see the level of talent that this tournament can attract. In terms of some of the past performances for this tournament, in terms of how the scoring can be, how the course can play, if we take a look at the 2025 running of this championship, so last year your winner was Preston Stout, who won the event at 9 under par for a total score throughout the 72 holes of the tournament. And then the next player, and the only player that was under par after that, was Miles Russell, who shot 1 under, and everybody else was even or over par after Miles Russell's 1 under performance. So you can see that the Wannamoisett Country Club definitely can provide a really substantial test for some of the best amateurs in the world, and there are really truly top 10 amateur players that come and play this event. So you can see that the Wannamoisett Country Club always puts up really quite a fantastic test for these players. Now, getting into some aspects about the history and the layout at the Wannamoisett Country Club. The Wannamoisett Country Club is located in Rumford, Rhode Island, and it is considered truly to be one of Donald Ross's finest designs, certainly in the New England region. And some modern architects consider it to be one of his finest examples of golf course design here in the totality of the United States. He originally designed the golf course in 1914. He returned to the golf course in 1926 to refine it further. And then very recently, the architect Andrew Green came to Wannamoisett Country Club for an incredible restoration project. And he was responsible for bringing it into the form that it's in now and restoring some of those classic Donald Ross elements. And again, if you're not familiar with Andrew Green's work and some of the courses that he's worked on, one of his best examples, certainly in the last few years, was his restoration work at Oak Hill Country Club, also a Donald Ross design, which was the course that was responsible for hosting the 2023 PGA Championship and has hosted numerous instances of that tournament, as well as the United States Open, going back a few decades. So Andrew Green was able to put his touches on the Wannamoisett Country Club, and he just basically restored some of the incredible Donald Ross elements to it and made the layout just even more spectacular. Now, in terms of how the course plays, one of the interesting aspects of the Wannamoisett Country Club golf course is that the course famously plays as a par 69 rather than a par 70, 71, or 72, and you have a single lone par 5 on the back nine, the par 5 17th hole. So in terms of a layout, you can see that with just a string of par 4s and par 3s leading up to the 17th hole, you can see how a layout like that would definitely provide an interesting test for the best players or the best amateur players in the world. And then with that single par 5 on the 17th hole, you can see how that could definitely make things interesting to see if somebody could make perhaps a 4 or even a 3 to make things very interesting in that final closing stretch of the tournament. So again, a truly unique layout with the Wannamoisett Country Club, meaning that it is a par 69 rather than a traditional par 70, 71, or 72. All right. Now, getting into the players that you can expect to see in the field this week. So, again, as I mentioned over the history of this event, it does have a reputation for attracting some of the world's best amateur players and certainly in the top 10 of the rankings. And so, some examples of some of those top 10 players that will be at the tournament this week include Luke Poulter, who plays his golf currently for Florida. He's Ian Poulter's son, and he played on the team for Great Britain and Ireland last year at the Walker Cup at Cypress Point. You have the immensely talented junior players of Miles Russell and Tyler Watts in the field this week as well. So it'll certainly be interesting with Miles Russell coming in second in the event last year. It'll be very interesting to see how he handles the event this year. And then some other great examples of some of the top tier amateur talent in the United States. You have Josiah Gilbert, who plays this golf at Auburn University, and then William Jennings as well, who plays golf for Alabama. A couple other notables from the national level that you have in the field this week. Last year's United States amateur winner, Mason Howell, will be playing in the event this week as well. And then the well-established mid-amateur competitor who's played in multiple Walker Cups, including last year for the United States at Cypress Point. You also have Stuart Hagestad in the field. So you can see that in addition to the amazing top 10 amateur ranking talent that we have at the event this week, you can also see that you have, for example, the United States Open or amateur winner from last year, as well as some really well-established mid-amateur players at that national level and have national recognition. Now, another wonderful thing about the field at the Northeast Amateur Invitational is that you not only have this top tier talent from the amateur golf perspective, but you also have the last year's winners of all 6 of the New England amateur events as well for each state. So, for example, for Massachusetts, the 2025 Massachusetts amateur winner, you have Ryan Downs in the field. From Connecticut, you have the 2025 Connecticut amateur winner, Adam Friedman. From New Hampshire, you have Josiah Hakala, Eli Spalding from Maine, the Vermont amateur winner from last year, Michael Walsh, and finally, you have the 2025 Rhode Island amateur champion, Mike Califf, also in the field. So you can see that if you are able to capture any of the amateur championships from each of the 6 states in the region, that actually punches you a ticket to this event, and it's a true honor for them to be able to play in it and represent the New England states. A couple other New Englanders that are certainly worth noting here as well. Matt Parziale, the decorated and well-established mid-amateur from Massachusetts, perhaps most famous for winning the 2017 Mid-Amateur Championship, which would get him into the Masters and the U.S. Open the following year. He's, of course, won many Massachusetts Player of the Year awards over the last few years. Has certainly won most of the tournaments that Mass Golf puts on. Truly just an incredible decorated mid-amateur player at this point, and certainly one to keep an eye on this week to see how he does. So again, Matt Parziale will be in the field. And then another player this week that will be in the field as well from the New England region that's been incredibly successful over the years is the 5-time Rhode Island amateur winner, Bobby Leopold. So he will be in the field as well. So you can see with the top tier talent that you have coming in from the top 10 of the world rankings, plus all the winners of the New England State Amateur Championships, as well as some of those really decorated mid-ams from the New England region, you can just see how special the field is here this week. All right. And one other thing that's actually worth mentioning about the Northeast Invitational or Amateur Invitational is that despite the incredible golf course that the event will be played at, and you can see just the top tier talent that is coming to play in the event, it actually is free to attend. So if you do have the time and the means and the availability to go down to the Wannamoisett Country Club in Rhode Island to see the event, I can promise you it would be well worth your time. And again, it's just so rare that you're able to see such an incredible list of top tier talent at a golf course of this magnitude being played that you can actually just simply walk on site and see the golf. So as far as New England events, it truly is one of the premier events that you can see every single year, year in and year out at such an incredible golf course. And again, you can just see just based on some of the names that we mentioned, it really does attract some incredible talent. So again, free to attend, and if you have the means and you're able to get down to the Wannamoisett Country Club in Rhode Island, it's definitely something that I would certainly recommend to be able to go see. And the event will be hosted from a tournament perspective from Wednesday to Saturday of this week, so ending on the 27th. All right, so that concludes our overview of the 2026 Northeast Amateur Invitational Tournament. Again, we talked about the overall nature and history of the tournament, the wonderful layout at the Wannamoisett Country Club, and the field that you can expect there. So again, certainly is to be certainly a great event again this year if you're able to go see it. And as always, please be sure to like this video, comment on the video of what you thought. And as always, please be sure to subscribe to the channel to make sure that you don't miss any of our content coming forward from here. All right, thanks very much, and we'll hopefully see you in the next video and at the Northeast Amateur Invitational.